What is going on out there, peeps? Alrighty, good lord. I've been kind of watching the market to see if this whole deal with Reddit has affected the silver market at all. If you look at the spot market value, it only reflects right now what the market has been closed. I mean, it moved yesterday, it got up to $27 an ounce, and I thought, yeah, it's moving a little bit, but I don't know how much they're going to be able to really affect silver prices. And because that would be a market that would, well, very hard to manipulate if you're not JP Morgan or somebody else like that. But it seems to be having an effect on the market after all. So, if for me, now again, when it comes to investing, there's always risk. Some things are more riskier than other, and some are very, very limited in risk. Gold and silver, um, to me, is very low on the totem pole as far as risk is concerned. We've seen prices have been horizontal for quite some time. In other words, it's just stagnant. It's not doing anything. It's not going anywhere. But Reddit seems to be having an effect after all on the silver market. You're starting to see people move quickly to cover shorts, which is funny. Shorts are when these banks bet in the short term that the value of silver is going to go down or not go anywhere for that matter. But the same thing they did on the GameStop, they people went out there and they did what's called a short squeeze, and by driving the value of silver up, any bank that put sold shorts would get hit hard time. They would lose money. Okay, they seem to be affecting the market. Now, what we saw also is just how corrupt our government is. They interfered with GameStop stock and a couple of other ones, and interfered with Robinhood as well as a few other trading platforms by telling them to stop selling a Robinhood or to Robinhood and stop selling stocks for GameStop. They can't do that. They shouldn't do that, but they did, and the stock dropped from 400 something down to what is it, 145? So yeah, that just shows you how corrupt these people are. Anyways, we're getting into silver here, and people all over are starting to buy silver. See, I'm gonna show you a video from Arcadia Economics. Love listening to Chris, but I was up late on Friday when he did the video, but I got tied up doing some other things, and so I wanted to come back around to it and listen to it a second time. So I'll share it with you here just a second. You can see he'll show you something that you should be paying attention to. Yeah, right now, you guys, it might be a great time for you to buy more silver. All right, so if you are thinking about buying silver and you're here in the United States and in Puerto Rico, give our friends over there at Money Metals Exchange a consideration. The link is in the description. If you spend more than $100 and you're a first-time buyer, use promo code Pimpy, Pimpy, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. You guys know I got Pimpy's Investment Chat, same name as the YouTube channel. Over here, we do talk about investment opportunities, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, as well as foreign currency investments. The link is in the description. It is free to join. So let's look at the market super quick right here. Where are you at, silver? Oh yeah, I think I was already looking at it. So you can see gold is up slightly, but look at this. Silver is now above $27 again, and it's moved pretty decently the past few days. Now, it went down slightly, but you can see, let's look at a 5-day. You can see it was down here. It's been lingering around $25.50. Then it got up as high as, $27.50. Came down a little bit. Okay? So, is Reddit's post about driving the value of silver up to $1,000, is it affecting the markets? It appears to be big time. Okay, so this is Chris from Arcadia Economics. I'm a huge fan. I will leave a link to this video so you can watch the whole one. But let's listen to part of it and we'll comment as it goes along. Because Chris started pointing some things out. And it looks to me like people are starting to make moves into this. But I will say this. If they really want to jack prices up really high, one simple thing can happen. Because they already got Reddit making a post saying that they're going to drive the price up to $1,000. You have other people saying, man, buy silver. And I'm telling people last night, I was with Rice last night on a video. I said, hey, you guys, now buy silver. Now, if everybody starts buying silver and you keep buying and buying, it's already scarce. It's hard to get. I don't mean like hard, but you know, you can go to Money Metals. They have an inventory. There's other people that got inventory, but what I mean like on a larger scale. Okay, and now on a Friday night, some interesting things are happening. So let's listen to Chris, and we'll follow along. We'll talk about it as it goes.
Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics.
Get a smile.
Late on a Friday night. I thought we.
Oh no! What I was going to say was this: you want to see those prices skyrocket right now? One person can make it a simple announcement, and it will shoot off like a bat out of hell. If Trump came out and said, buy silver, I'm buying a lot of silver. Oh my God. Silver would skyrocket. All he has to say is, buy silver, I'm going to buy silver. It would take off.
Done for the day, but the silver news, it's like the ballots when they come in. They come in all night. Silver news coming all night. So here we are, and well, the Wall Street Bets Reddit crowd made their presence known today.
Yep.
And we have the first sign of some data here because hats off, hands out. A little exhausted and tired tonight, so if I don't make complete sense, bear with me, please. But let's give a round of applause to Bob Coleman, first one for reporting this. Bob on Twitter at Profits Plus ID. Bob found SLV just added 37 million shares to the trust today.
Wow.
1,150 metric tons of buying in one day. This is huge.
Yep.
This is equivalent to 25% of all of the registered inventory backing the silver COMEX futures contracts.
So in one day, SLV added approximately 25% of the registered inventory. That's what they added to their holdings for backing the silver COMEX futures contracts. Again, you guys, this is big. So does that guarantee anything big's going to happen? No, it doesn't. But this is bigger than people think.
Maybe we can read that again. I guess my haste, I was focused on this. Although, you can read along at home with me. This is equivalent to 25% of all of the registered inventory backing the silver COMEX futures contracts.
Now, keep in mind, this is only the contracts. This is the registered inventory. This doesn't take in consideration that's stuff that's being bought by Joe Public. You know, the stuff you buy in the stores, the stuff you buy personally to collect. Okay, this doesn't take that in consideration.
So interesting that, I don't know, maybe you could call Thursday day one of Wall Street bets and Reddit targeting in on the silver market. And certainly we saw First Majestic, and we saw silver move on Thursday too, but that's quite an impact. Now let's put this in perspective. Actually, before we do that, let's show the data. Here, Bob was kind enough to send a picture from the SLV sheet. You can see January 28, there's 610 million ounces. January 29, there's 647. So 37.15 million ounces. Now, again, anyone who's new to silver, I know a lot of the veterans know this or have heard this already. Is SLV actually adding the shares or the depositing the metal? I've called, it may have been iShares or BlackRock. I don't remember who I called, but one of I dialed up a bunch of phone numbers to actually call them and at least ask the question. Whoever I spoke with, they sent me a few things back and basically said yes. They claimed metal was going in. Now, does that mean it is? I don't know, but I thought for my own amusement, I'd at least have on the record that they told me that. Whoops. We're going to mute that in the background. But so they're supposed to be adding metal, silver every time they create a share. So if new people buy shares, if there's additional demand, I don't know, people can sell their shares, or the SLV can create new shares, which require the deposit of metal. Does that happen? Well, keep in mind, guess for anyone who's new to this, just take a guess who is the custodian. So who's supposed to make?
Oh, yeah. So the one thing we do want to be careful is that JP Morgan is the custodian of this. So could they be pulling some kind of stunt? It's very possible, okay? It's very, very possible. If they are, it still could affect the silver prices in a positive direction. But then, yeah, we got to be careful with this. Again, I'm excited about this. This is a lot of inventory, and I'm not so sure this time around. Even though JP Morgan is a custodian, I'm not so sure that if this thing really gets on the roll, they could stop it. We already know the comics is a bad scam. They do some real legal crap. This just exposes them more and more. So they sell more silver on contracts than they physically have. If everybody demanded silver, physical or possession of physical silver, they'd be screwed. A lot of things would come crashing down. But having said that, yeah, JP Morgan is a custodian. Don't be surprised if they try to manipulate somehow, some way, that if this really starts to go on a roll in a positive and you start seeing silver value jump up big time, I'm not so sure they could stop it if it really went on a roll, to be quite honest with you. But they are capable of pulling some stunts out and squashing it from going up too high. But again, there's already a scarcity of silver out there, and it's going to be very curious. Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens.
Make sure everything is safe. You're going to think I'm making this up, but it's JP Morgan who just got fined $920 million for rigging gold and silver. So, I mean, in terms of watching the hen house, maybe we could paint costumes on there, actually get a fox to do it. But either case, as bizarre as that may be, they are alleging, I've not seen the metal. Now, we asked Andrew McGuire, there was a 20 million ounce deposit, I believe it was last week, that was massive. There's people who don't believe it's physically possible to process that much metal. I mean, that quickly. I don't know. I guess there's always a way, but I mean, that's a lot. Now, let's put this in context a little bit. First of all, here is the great Gold Charts R Us, Nick Laird's site. Keeps us humming with all the data. Let's see if, I'm not sure when that gets updated, that latest day, because I've been curious. I looked over here earlier today. In either case, you can see last week, 20 million ounce deposit right there.
Okay, so that's from last week. That's 20 million deposited. All right, and now what are they saying? 27 million is now being added. So watch this.
To put that in perspective, this is the 3-month chart. You look at 6 month, it's the biggest. 1 year, it's the biggest. 2 years, it's still that largest. One there. It's biggest in 2 years. 5 years, still the biggest. 10 years, it looks like there was one in 2013, slightly bigger. I mean, you get the idea that 20 million, except for that thing in 2013, I mean, here's back 10 years. So aside from that one, what we saw last week was the second biggest. And now whenever the chart data gets updated to include today, you have, like, I guess where that 5 is would be around where 30 would be. So we'd be above the scale of the chart. Let's go out 20 years, see if the chart, yeah, Nick is going to have to make a new chart because so much silver. Wow, I guess I didn't really think of it this way, but this was an all-time record.
Wow. So last week they
Yeah,
did either
congratulations,
the
Wall
highest
Street
or the
Bets,
second highest
setting
deposit.
on day 1 or 2, depending on how one does the accounting, an
Now it looks like they're
all-time
about to
record
deposit
for
the
largest deposit
deposits of silver.
into SLV in history. How
Nah.
exciting is that?
Yeah, very. Okay, again, look at if last week they did 20 million. I mean, if they did 20 million, that was either the most or second most deposits ever. And now they're about to add another 27 million a week later, back to back. That's 47 million ounces and over a 1 week span, if you think about it. And this next deposit would be the highest ever. What is going on? What are they getting ready for? What do they know about the silver market?
Actually, although I'll do you one better, because keep in mind here. All right, I remember how to get back out there. No, that is not what I was looking for. What I was going to say is that SLV is only one of the trusts. There are multiple trusts, as you can see here. So here is where is iShares SLV. So this is yesterday's number. Here's the Sprott Trust. So my guess would be, I've started searching through the forum a little bit tonight. I hear a lot of people talking about PSLV. That's PSLV, which is the Sprott Silver Trust, which I would feel a lot safer with, I might add, than SLV. Again, there's some people who just want silver that they can hold in their hand, and I can understand either way. But again, that 37 million was for iShares. I don't know. Hopefully, we'll have data by the morning, I guess, what Sprott added and what the others added. So that number could be bigger.
Wow.
I guess theoretically it also could be smaller, although that would seem unlikely. So, yeah, in either case.
Yeah, these people, these trusts might be preparing for something. Once Reddit made their announcement, just out of precaution, because there are a ton of, especially against JP Morgan, a lot of shorts were sold. You could technically, if the movement is big enough, if this is a worldwide movement and people really start making a move on silver, some of these people or some of these banks. So remember, during the summertime, we kept watching silver and gold go up and up and up and up. And those banks that had sold, shorts on silver were losing like $100 million a day because the price kept going up and up and up until it got again manipulated. So if that's the case, if all these trusts are stacking up on silver or adding silver, and there's an expectation of a possible huge movement, those banks that sold shorts are going to have to figure out a way to cover their short sales. This is going to be interesting. If everybody starts doing this, everybody, you guys, I mean, even if you want to buy 1 ounce or whatever it is you're going to do, and you got some discretionary funds. There's no guarantee this is going to happen. But if everybody started to pick up on this movement, you could drive the value of silver way the hell up. And it looks like it's starting to happen. So as word gets around about what Reddit did to, GameStop, and and then what they and how the allegedly the White House got involved and stopped the sales of GameStop. If that's the case and they interfered, that's really bad. But everybody's talking about that. So if everybody's talking about it, they're also paying attention to what Reddit said to drive the value of silver up to $1,000. So people saw what happened to GameStop. They saw what happened to the stock. It was like 1,000% increase. All right. So people are going, wait a minute. If they're talking about silver, well, it doesn't hurt to be prepared a little bit more. If you get my drift, some people never had any before, so they're buying for the first time. And if you're one of those people and you're interested in buying, make sure you go to Money Metals Exchange. The link is down in the description. Just follow it. If you spend more than $100 for the first time, Use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you'll get a free half ounce of silver. Yeah, that's a shameless plug. But nonetheless, look, if everybody starts buying silver around the world, this is going to be one hell of a movement. Oh, I just the thought of it alone. And if you really, really want to make this sucker take off, if Trump just came out and made an announcement, just said, hey, you should buy silver right now. I'm going to buy silver. Oh my goodness. It would be way up there. It would take off. So, it doesn't hurt to be safe if you can afford it. Then you're going to be feeling really good about the silver that you did buy. Let's see what happens, man, because this is definitely interesting.
I'm going to pull that chart back out there a second. Okay, yeah. So there was so much silver added on, we'll call it day 1.5 of Wall Street bets targeting silver short squeeze, that I'll just call it the first day for artistic purposes here. So on the first day, so much was added that it's a record in the history of silver trusts. I don't think it can go any further. Let's click long term, see. Okay, wait, what do we got here? Oh, that's an interesting one. I've never noticed that before. 1996. I would guess that would somehow be related to Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Who some of you might know had a silver position even larger than the Hunt brothers. Although, let's get another interesting little piece of history, because people know about the Hunt brothers and how they cornered the market. I don't know if that's exactly how I would phrase it, but they had that massive silver pile. Some people know, maybe not quite as many, about silver stocks. I don't know if you can see this yet, but give me a moment. Some people know that Warren Buffett, I believe, held even more than the Hunt brothers.
Yeah, I think Warren Buffett and his group, they bought about, what was it? They bought a bunch of silver when it was around $8 an ounce. At the price that they paid for it, when it shot up and they sold it, I think the group entirely with the amount that they bought. And I think it was in less than, oh, good Lord, 6 months' time or whatever it was, their whole group, their entire group made something like $1 billion in profit. It was crazy.
But here is what is interesting. Oh my goodness. All right, give me a second. Let me back out and pull this up. Wow. Amazing the things that happen on this planet. Happen to open your eyes
on the activity that was done on the 28th, which was
so here we see JP Morgan
day before yesterday.
That was interesting. I think it was back in June or July. It was interesting. Andrew McGuire was on, and we were talking about how on the first day of the deliveries, this was around when things were going on with the Department of Justice case, that 30 million ounces were switched. Let me pull that back up. Always get registered and eligible confused. Okay, so JP Morgan, basically, to put this in context, so you're going to love this, especially if you're hearing it for the first time. The JP Morgan had, I believe, 0 ounces, and I don't even think they had a warehouse in 2011 when silver went up to $49. Comes crashing down. I think they opened the warehouse actually that month. I mean, it was a very coincidental chain of events. You probably wouldn't want to explain in cross-examination.
They ended up with Bear Stearns silver is what happened.
I'm guessing. So basically they went from 0 and then just kept accumulating over the last 9 years until then on the first day of, I guess it was the July silver deliveries. They delivered 30 million ounces from eligible to registered. So back in July or end of June, this was number where you see 152 there. That was 160, and this was 0 for a total of 160. So yet you have that happen. You have them get fined $920 million for
spoofing.
I got to pull it up. I'm sorry. You really have to see this one, the CFTC, JP Morgan, $920 million. Because I can understand, I get it. You know, it's like some of this stuff, you know, especially for people who are new to the show, I can certainly understand if you think I'm making some of these things up. I mean, you know, but here's the CFTC's website. There's JP Morgan and their manipulative and deceptive conduct that spanned at least 8 years and involved not a few, not 2 or 3, but hundreds of thousands of spoof orders in precious metals. And let's not forget, they were rigging the treasury market too. So anyway.
So they end up having to pay a fine of $920 million. A lot of people are like, wow, that's a record high for fines. $920 billion. That'll teach them. No, it don't. Because they literally make that in 1 to 2 days. So it really had no effect on them.
Okay. You know, they had 160 million ounces. Let's get that one back up there. And so 30 million goes from eligible to registered. Now, perhaps what's more significant in some ways is that still does not appear as if metal is leaving the building, which I think would, if there's any like real sign to watch out for, at least in terms of the COMEX, it would be that. But in either case, so you had, it was 160. They've added another 33 million ounces since then, while they're getting fined $920 million for manipulating the market on hundreds of thousands of occasions. And of course, simultaneously, they are the custodian of SLV. So yeah, that sounds like an all-around great setup. Can't see how that could go wrong. But I'd like to put, excuse me, this, again, thank you, Bob, for pointing that out. So everybody, get big hand for Bob.
Yeah, thank you, Bob.
To again point out how big 37 million ounces is, let's take a look at Silver Institute. Here's the mining supply. So you see 700, 800, almost 900. If you add in the recycling, 150 to 200. So, all right, let's add all that together. You see it's about been pretty consistently right around 1 billion. So if you say 37 million ounces, let's round down to 33 so that you say in 100, you can fit 33 3 times.
1/30.
So in 1,000, you could fit it 30 times. So basically, if you take 1,000 divided by 33, I'm going to get my math right here. Let me check it. A little bit tired tonight.
Just round it off, Chris.
Make sure I'm getting this exactly correct here. So 1,000 divided by 33. Yeah, okay. So basically, at this pace, over 30 trading days, what was purchased in SLV would eat the entire supply for a year.
So they deposited what they normally do in 1 year in 1 day.
So 37 million ounces. So if that happened again Monday and Tuesday, that's 100 million ounces. That would be in 3 days. That would be 1/10 of the world's supply.
Wow.
Keep in mind, this doesn't include what people are actually buying when they buy physical metal from.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. That's not taken into consideration, you guys. So right now is a great time to start purchasing it, in my opinion, because as the word gets out of this and we start to see any real climb in silver prices at all, people are going to start rushing over there. Like I said, we could start a movement in essence, that might not be able to be stopped, that we can keep driving the true value of silver up. So again, if Trump just came out and made this announcement, oh wow, that'd just be crazy.
Miles Franklin, where if you are trying to buy or sell gold or silver,
that's what I say. Everybody go to Money Metals Exchange.
Arcadia at milesfranklin.com
in the description.
And by the way, just not buys, you can sell the metals too. They'll give you pricing or information. If you do have any.
So again, you guys, look, if you're going to buy it, check out our friends over at Money Metals Exchange. It really is a good time. Can we start a movement big enough that would drive the value of silver up? Yeah, of course. It's very possible, you guys. Very, very possible. Some interesting things are happening. It might not amount to anything, but if you, just as a precaution, you might want to just start adding to your silver stack right now. I know I am. You just want to be prepared. So if you have some discretionary funds, maybe you'll consider adding to your inventory or starting to add silver to your inventory, you guys. Again, Money Metals Exchange is down below. It's a link. So underneath the video, just hit show more and it'll take you to a link for Money Metals. First time buyers, if you're spending more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you'll get a free half ounce of silver. The irony of that half ounce, well, I'm going to say the irony, the great thing about that free half ounce of silver, if they're going to draw, I want you to, let's put this in perspective. If Reddit finds a way to get a group of people to move, and it magically does get up there to $1,000 an ounce, just for buying $100 worth of silver, and just for using promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, you'll get this free half ounce of silver. That might be worth $500. That's just to put things in perspective of what they're trying to do out there. And you're going to say to yourself, wow, I spent $100, and in return, I got $500 back. That's not including the increase in the value of the silver that you bought. All right, you guys, just think about it that way. Let me know what you think, man. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I sure do appreciate it. I'll catch you later.